Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year. Welcome to a very special January edition of D-List Diaries.
Welcome, welcome. New year, new you. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, New Year, same me, but same podcast. It's just Gina and I tonight. Kirsten will be back next week, but still same podcast.
Yeah, we're just trucking through the holidays. I actually go back to work tomorrow and I'm kind of scared. I'm like,
Uh,
do I know how to
yeah.
do hair? Like I actually did really take a true break. Usually I try to take a break and I don't make it through. So this time I really did it.
Well, I'm very proud of you. I know it's not easy. For me, I took the same break, but I just turned my email off, didn't check my phone. So it was not that complicated. But for you, I know since you're a business owner, you got to be 10 toes in all the time. So I'm very proud of you.
Thank you. It kind of fell perfectly. We have the holiday rush before. So it's pretty
Ah,
crazy before everyone wants to get in. And I'm excited. I'm ready for a new year.
do you make resolutions or are you anti-resolution gal?
I know. I didn't make like a set resolution. We kind of like went around our family and talked last night. One thing I want to start doing more of is shopping local.
Ooh, I like that.
That's like an easy, like, I know I'm a local business, so I'm like looking for different ways to support local, but I feel like my year is so jam-packed with goals all the time that it's like, ugh. One thing is just taking better care of myself. Like I definitely still want to work out and just prioritize even getting massages more and that kind of thing.
Ooh, can we do like a friend couple massage and just go and hang
Please.
together like a spa day?
My boo got me a couples massage for Christmas.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
sweet.
I know I need to book it. So it was good. It was relaxing. It was kind of crazy because we had families here. So we did like, I went to the Gaylord Ice, the Opry.
Oh my God, I love that
Yeah.
place at Christmas time.
Oh my gosh, we did the boat ride through. We went to the zoo. Have you been to the zoo Illumination?
No, I have not. Wait, is this at the zoo?
Yes, it's at the zoo. My family kept making fun of me because I kept being like, you guys, I don't think you understand that this is all lanterns. Like
So it's
they're
just lit up at night? Is that the
huge.
concept?
No, I have to send photos. You're gonna have to like put a clip on Instagram of this because it's huge, lit up like lanterns of things. I can't even describe it. And my family was like, yeah, we get it. They're lanterns. I was like, do you get it? This is
Are
so
you seeing the
amazing.
same thing I'm seeing?
I'm about to send you a photo of it.
Please
We
do.
can show it on the podcast just so you can get a visual.
Yeah, we'll throw one up here so you can see what Gina's talking about.
The perfect vacation and staycation for me is like a good mix of like just chilling and then a good mix of like doing things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to be gas pedal the whole time, but I
Yeah.
also want to like leave the house. So we mixed it up for sure.
Wow. I mean, that sounds like a perfect stay vacation.
Yeah. What about you guys?
Honestly, this week went by so fast, or it was more than a week, but Chris's dad was here. So we spent time with him and his brother, and that was really fun. And then Chris and I were just so busy, but I can't even tell you what we did because I honestly can't even remember. Like, we decided we wanted to paint our entry hallway thing. And if you want a true example of how much time Libras can waste on going back and forth on things, watch two Libras in a paint store because we went to Lowe's or yeah, we went to Lowe's one night and we were like, all right, we're going to do gray. We're going to keep it neutral. And of course, they have 400,000 different gray paint samples. So we spent about half an hour, finally picked one, but they didn't have the same paint that we needed because we had to go to a special store, whatever. So the next day we go to the store and we're like, let's make sure this is the paint chip we want before we actually get it. We're like, uh-huh. Well, now in the daytime, there's some other options. So we spent another half an hour in there and we had two paint chips that were very similar and just going back and forth like, oh, this is a little lighter. This is a little greener. I'm like, why are we doing this? Why? So we finally picked one. It was a struggle, but we did it. We painted. We forgot how grueling manual labor in the house is. So that was fun. And that was really it. I mean, Chris was sick for a little bit of it. I was sick for a little bit of it. So we didn't really get crazy, but we had some nice time together, which we haven't had in a while. So that to me was very valuable. And I feel refreshed and ready to go back to work and start the new year.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to go back to work. It's funny that you say the decision thing. I was like that even at the salon. It's very hard because I didn't have anyone else really giving input. Like I had my stylists and stuff, and I'd be like, okay, where should we put this? But even my like contractors and stuff working, they'd be like, okay, where do you want this? And I'd be like, I don't know. Like, where do you think looks good? And they're like, no, like you have to tell us. We can't. We can't like make these
To just put
decisions
it
for
up.
you. Like you have to let us know it's a job. I totally feel that. I don't like making decisions. I would rather someone give me like a couple options and then I'll pick. But if there's too many over like paint colors, forget it. I'm
Overwhelming.
leaving.
Well, we went to a paint store when we were filming to do Chris's like back to childhood,
I was
whatever it
gonna
was
ask
called.
about that. Yeah.
So I remember we picked random paint chips for, I think we were like, oh, for our future home one day, not realizing we would actually have a home together. So I said we should just pick one of those randomly because I have them somewhere. So we should just blindly pick one and that'll be the color we paint it. But I clearly remember us picking very outrageous paint chips
Like
because,
bright yellow.
yeah, like we were just being silly. It's like, no, we're not doing that. We rediscovered Mario Party. We're big gamers in this house.
For the longest time we were like, I don't know what is going on with our Nintendo Switch. It just like doesn't work. And my niece was like, oh, well, it could just be that your console like isn't charging anymore. You could need a new console. So then she plugged up the Switch to like, the USB-C charger and charged everything in like three
Wow.
seconds. We were like, oh my God, thanks. We can go back to playing our video games.
Well, we should do a Mario Party.
That's my resolution.
Okay. Winter resolution.
Yep. And I did see Wicked. By the way, I don't know if I told you that since we last spoke.
You did, but you did not tell our listeners what you think, and I would love for
Oh,
them to hear it.
obsessed. I want to go. I was actually like a little upset because my nieces, not upset, but low key bummed, if you will. My nieces went and stayed the night with Mimi. So they went to grandma's for one night.
Aw.
And I was like, oh, what'd you guys do? And they were like, oh, we went and saw Moana too. And I wanted to go see Wicked again, selfishly. So I was like, oh, I want to take you guys to see Wicked. But then they already saw a movie. So I was like, okay, now
Oh,
I don't have an
man.
excuse to see it. So if anyone out there wants to go see Wicked a second time with me, I'm obsessed.
Well, we bought it, and you can come over and watch it whenever you want. We've
Is it
already
out?
rewatched. Came out on New Year's Eve, and we watched it on New Year's Eve.
Oh my gosh, I
And
missed it.
Chris now, he sings the song, so he pretends he doesn't, but he likes it even better. And I've changed
I'm
him. He's a
gonna
changed man.
I'm gonna make my man watch it. He's definitely going to now that it's on, you can watch it like without going to the movies.
Yeah, I love it. There's a sing along version.
If there's a chance that he can turn it off if he doesn't like it, he'll watch.
Okay, that's fair though,
But
because a
going to the
3 hour
movies
movie,
is like harder.
that's like commitment, but
Yeah, yeah.
I think he will like it. We talked about our goals. I was like, shouldn't we plan for being a couple in the next year? Like I see all these things on Instagram, like we have couple meetings and we have a year in review. And
Hmm.
he's like, yeah, what are your goals? I'm like, let's just be a good couple. Yippee. Like we couldn't really, there's obviously things we want to do, but I'm like, you can't be an Instagram couple who's sitting in front of a whiteboard writing all of these goals. Like, that's great and wonderful if you can do that, but I just don't think that's
Not
realistic.
y'all. Sorry. I'm
Okay.
entering into no, I was yawning. I'm entering into year 3 of my relationship.
That is so exciting.
He actually said that, and I was like, entering year 3 because it's about to be our 2-year anniversary. But then once we pass
Wow.
that, he's like, but we're entering year 3 together. I was like,
Yeah.
that's really sweet.
Yeah. Like this was our third Christmas together, but
Uh-huh.
we've still only been together 2.5 years. So it's
I know.
crazy.
It's weird. Weird
Wow.
concept.
Look at us.
The most important question I have is, do you watch Squid Games?
No, but I know
Do you watch
Kirsten
it at all?
does.
Okay.
I
We'll save
don't.
it for her.
I don't know if there's a new season. I don't know if she's watched it, but save that for Kirsten because I have no opinion or insight.
I started to watch the first one. It got a little violent for me. And I was like, I don't know that I want to watch this. It's like a lot of covering your eyes because there's like a lot of like people shooting people and all of that. And then I watched the reality show and loved it. Would actually love to go on it. And then the second one came out and my family was here. So we were like, all right, we'll give it a try. And they all three, like my brother and sister-in-law love it. Boyfriend loves it. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to be like the odd man out. But now I'm hooked.
All right. Okay. So we can give it a try because there's no good shows right now for a few weeks.
You should do
So
it.
we
It
need
is, you either watch with subtitles or dubbed.
I watch everything with subtitles. I cannot hear a show unless it has subtitles on.
Oh, well then, but will you want to listen to it in like Korean with subtitles or do you want it dubbed with subtitles?
Wait. So it's not in English.
It's not in English.
That's a good question. So my options are to either listen to it in Korean with English subtitles or hear it dubbed in English with no subtitles.
Well, I think you could probably do subtitles even on the dubbed version.
Then I would do the
Yeah, but
subtitles and the dubbed because
yeah,
that's the only way I can hear.
that is a interesting fact, Nicole.
It's
I
it's
did not
like
know
when
that.
you're looking for a house or something and you turn down the radio because you can't see unless it's quiet. That's not a thing.
It's ADHD, babe.
Oh. Well, it's a thing. It's a thing for me then, okay?
My boyfriend hates subtitles.
Well, I never used to be a fan of them. And then I was watching, it was right when COVID started. And my best friend and I were watching Love Island UK season 1. And we legitimately could not understand what they were saying because of the accents. So we had to put subtitles on. And then we just never took them off because we didn't even notice they were on anymore. And now I've been watching things for so long with subtitles. If they're not on, I'm like, I don't know what they just said. I can't hear. So.
I think that's actually part of ADHD though, because when you're multitasking, you can listen better.
Yeah, no,
So it's
that's
like,
actually a great point.
yeah, it's like when I'm doing hair, I can listen a lot better because I'm highlighting, like I'm doing something with my hands. But if I'm just sitting there, like listening to you talk, I'm like, I don't know. Like right now, I'm playing with this.
Some people think it's like nervous or fidgeting, but I'm always doing my hair things. Like people are gonna think I'm some bimbo, but
Like Sandy from The Ultimatum, she's always playing with her hair.
you're right. I need something else to do, even though I'm not paying less attention to the main
It
activity.
actually helps you pay more
Yeah.
attention.
Reminds me, Chris and I were having a little two stories out of this little heated argument we had last week. One of them, I was in the kitchen and I was talking to him, but I was furiously cleaning this kitchen, like scrubbing the handles and every single thing you can imagine. And out of nowhere, I was like, this is a good time to make a point. I was like, see, we're having this conversation and you're sitting and I'm in here cleaning all by myself. And he said, because cleaning calms you down. I know that when we're having a tougher conversation, when you're doing something else, it helps you focus.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wow, this man just clapped back so hard because he knew I was
Got your
trying
ass.
to, yeah, I was trying to be like, you're not doing anything. And he was like, I'm
I'm actually
intentionally
letting you
letting
do
you.
that.
And I was like, damn, he's so lucky because it calms me down in a fight to clean.
It's like I'm actually not going to validate that because that
Yeah,
makes your anxiety worse. Cool.
right. And I was like, you're right. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna continue cleaning. So that was one funny thing. We really don't fight, but it was just a very heated discussion that it's funny now because we calmed ourselves down, we finished the conversation, and then we were like, wow. We shared how proud we were because it was the way we ended it was so different than we would have ended it when we first started our marriage. It's like, it really does
That's
work.
good.
Active listening and communication.
That's
But
probably your New Year's resolution is more active listening.
yeah. Well, I need to prove that I'm actively listening because I know I'm listening and I know I'm paying attention. And I have the memory of an elephant usually, but I think other people might not think of paying as much attention. So
I feel
it's my
that.
resolution to be more mindful of the listening.
We need to get things that we can play with.
The fidget spinners. Isn't
Yeah.
that like what they're for?
Yeah, I think that's like a good option for us ADHDers that do better if we're
Fidgeting.
yeah, it's like the whole concept of ADHD is weird because you can't focus because your brain's so crazy. But if you're focused on one thing, you can like multitask really well.
Yeah.
Like kind of contradicts, but okay.
You know what? If it works, it works.
If the shoe fits.
Oh, and so the other funny thing, we were just arguing, talking loudly, whatever. And out of nowhere, so we have, I'm going to spell it because if I say it, she's going to wake up. But we have Alexa devices around the house.
Mm.
And I don't even know what we were saying, but she was like, vibrators have been added to the shopping cart. I was like, huh? And we just started dying laughing because we were not talking about vibrators. We were not even talking about our sex life, but she added them.
Where did it come from?
I have no idea. It must have just heard us say something. So it heard us say her name,
Like
which
that's
we didn't
vibrating or
say,
something?
but we didn't. Like we were not talking about
Like
anything
was
to
it
do
like
with
a
that.
sound bar or something?
Who knows? She heard something we said and took that as add vibrators to the shopping list.
Yeah, I'm like trying to think of what rhymes with that.
I don't even know.
It's
And
like we have a huge sound bar downstairs, and that would make sense because my family was like, "This is like vibrating my back." That would be something where she
no,
would pop up and say it.
but we couldn't even take it off the list. He looked at his account. It's not on there. So I don't know what shopping list it's on. So any of my friends and family, if I accidentally added vibrators to your shopping list, if you're connected to one of our devices, you can cancel it because
Or plot twist, they're on your device.
I checked.
You're like, "Mom, get off."
Like who's,
My Amazon
oh yeah, yeah. Who in my family is
is
adding
linked.
vibrators? I'm on to you. Yeah, so
That's
that
funny.
was a good little fight breaker because after that we were just like, what are we doing?
We can't even, yeah, we
Let's
can't even
wrap
have a
this.
serious conversation.
No, it was good though. Every once in a while we have to have one of those to really get everything out, and
Bring it
it
back.
helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's healthy, right?
So
Whatever.
wait, did you make resolutions?
So I don't really make resolutions, more of things that I just want to make a focus. So I spoke about this last week, but for everyone as a reminder, because if I say it out loud, it means it's important, is I am putting more value on my time. I
Mm,
mean, I'm a very like, oh, I'm flexible. Whatever works for you. Tell me what works for you. And because I have a flexible schedule, I see that as it's okay to be flexible around everyone else's schedule, but it's also okay to have firm, like, this is my schedule, this is when I'm available, my time is important, and I can't just drop things because someone else says so. And I actually thought of you when I was making this goal because of your time blocking that you've been doing. So
yeah.
all of that to say is I'm putting more value on my time. So I have to make other people believe that by me believing that and standing firm on that. So that's my biggest goal.
I love that.
You've inspired me with your
Oh,
time
good.
blocking.
I'm still I mean, I'm not like fully following it 100%. I definitely didn't the last 2 weeks, but that's good. But I am excited to get back into work, and I'll say like even in the salon I've noticed it feels a lot calmer when there's more of a plan around your time.
Oh,
And
yeah.
when you know what you're doing, and you don't realize how much time you're wasting until you really start paying attention to that. Or like how, not even wasting, but like time that you're losing on things that you wouldn't really notice. Like I set even notifications on my phone for like Instagram, and I did all those giveaways through
Yeah.
the 12 days of Christmas. Every one of those posts took like an hour when I'd
Yeah.
finally go to post it, and I'm like, oh my god, that was like 12 hours just to post. I set a time limit of 1 hour on Instagram a day. Usually I'm realizing that that is spent with me posting things for like marketing or whatever it is on Instagram, and it'll be like, you have 5 minutes left. I'm like, damn it, that went so fast. So it's like time goes really, really quick, but I definitely want to be more intentional too. And I did this for a little bit when I would put my phone away at like 7, and I want to
I
get back to
remember
doing
that.
that. Like just turning it off and knowing that like things can wait. And when people say like you don't have time, I always say time is relative. You do have time. You're
Yeah.
just prioritizing different things. And so you have time for whatever you want. That goes back to us filming a whole ass television show while having lives. We somehow
Right.
managed to have way more time during that season. That actually taught me how much time we really have in a day trying to do that.
That's a good way to look at it because, yeah, you look back, we really didn't have time to film a show and have our lives, but somehow we did. And I
Like
always
60
ignore,
hours a week.
but also like that was very
Crazy.
stressful. So I don't think we need to be pushing ourselves to that limit again.
Yeah,
But
for sure. But on top of like doing your job, like that's crazy to
yeah,
think about. So it's like it shows you that we really do have more time in a day. One of my like resolutions was to just start waking up earlier. Like I just see the most successful people wake up at like 5.
yeah. There's a book, it might be called 5 a.m. Club, I want to say,
Uh-huh.
but I haven't read it because 6 a.m. is the earliest I'll wake up unless I'm catching a flight. But
Really?
I've heard good things about it, and I think Eris actually told me about it, that he read it and he does that. That even if you don't have something you quote unquote need to do, you can still be productive. You can still even use that time to meditate or just
Mhm.
be yourself before your day starts.
Yeah.
I mean, I always say I'm going to wake up earlier, and I do wake up early, but I'm always so frantic in the morning. So maybe I'll take that on too. Like not 5 a.m., but even if it's 10 minutes earlier, I don't need that
Or
10
like
minutes of
30.
sleep.
Yeah.
I just would love, and
Just to sit still.
I would love to be less frantic. Like that would be my goal resolution, but that's just not the way my brain works. But yeah, just have a few minutes to get up and ease into the day and not be like, oh, gotta go, gotta feed the dogs, gotta get ready, go to the gym, come back to work, blah, 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 blah. And then it's 9 o'clock and we have to get ready for bed. So I would
Yep.
love just some
Yeah.
extra time for me, but that also requires me going to bed earlier, which normally I'm okay with, but I've been reading a lot more, so I struggle. Like, do you read less and go to sleep earlier? Because reading makes me really happy. So I don't know. This is what happens in my brain, these
Or you have
pointless
to
discussions.
start reading earlier.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'd have to like push everything a
Yeah.
little further. But
That's the
I also
thing.
got a Kindle, the Paperwhite one.
Are Kindles having a resurgence? Because you're the third person I know who got a Kindle for Christmas, and I have not heard the word Kindle in at least 10 years. So did they just come out with a new one?
Maybe, maybe so. I was on a flight and I saw this lady reading her Kindle, and I was like, huh, that really does look like a page of a book. I was like, it doesn't. Can you hear Hank with his zoomies?
A little bit, yeah. It's cute though. Oh,
Get it
hey.
out. Get it out. Are you a good boy? He's literally staring at me. No, I saw this lady on the plane reading it, and I was like, you know what? I think that I'm going to try it because I definitely read on like my Kindle on my phone. And so I'm like intrigued at the fact that this device looks like a page in a book. Like the lighting on it is different. It looks like paper.
I'll have to look at yours because I used to read on my iPad, but I like the feel of a book and I read by chapter. That sounds obvious, but I give myself a limit of I'll read 3 chapters tonight. So those chapters could be 4 pages, 40 pages. I set the limit before I look. It's like a fun little game I play with myself. So I like to see how many pages are in the chapter before I go ahead and read it. And with the ebook, I always felt weird, like swiping, and then swiping back.
Oh, to see, yeah.
So it's the pointless conversations that happen in my brain, but here we are.
Hold please. I gotta get my computer charger. Another New Year's resolution I have is that I think I want to start golfing.
Like real golf or
Yeah.
like a top golf
No,
first?
no. We're country club members.
I did know this. I'm waiting for my invite. Thank you very much.
I haven't even gone, not one
Oh,
time since
that's
August.
the best.
That's
That's
sad.
the best.
My friend Aubrey was a collegiate golfer,
Oh,
so I would need to get some clubs. Need to get on the Facebook Marketplace and get some cheap ones. I don't know how this works.
I
My boyfriend would be like, "That's not a thing."
I feel like you can get like used clubs.
Don't you have to get them like specifically for
I
what
don't
it is?
know. I just started mini golfing again because I got over the fact that I'm really bad at it. And I would like to say I want to do real golfing because I hear it's, good for you and like you can be zen
Just
on
like
the course,
outside
but
all day, yeah.
not for me. I do like mini golf though. Anything that's meant for a child, perfect for me. You need a short
Well,
attention span.
if I love it, maybe I'll have you go sometime. You never know.
You never know.
So that might be one of my
Okay.
goals this year. And then I've got some sourdough starter. So we're making sourdough now.
Ooh.
And me and my sister-in-law made a loaf. It turned out pretty good, but we need a Dutch oven because it's like hard to bake.
Okay.
Apparently they bake way easier in a Dutch oven. So
I've
golf,
never tried.
sourdough. And I really want to read like 2 books a month, but only one of them self-help. The other one I want to be fiction.
Well, if you need a good
Get
fantasy series,
I think you gave it to me. I need to get into it.
yeah,
I have it on my Kindle.
then you have to read it. I
What's
promise.
the name of it?
A Court of Thorn and Roses
Well, I
is the
have that
first
book.
one.
I have
Yes.
that book.
100%. Anyone
I
who
have the
hasn't read it
physical
should
book.
read it. Yeah, and it's like 700 pages. So you can count that as 2 to 3 books.
Okay.
So you can, you don't have to finish that in the month
In the month. Yeah.
to feel the accomplishment. But this podcast, I can't believe we're not talking about all the things we're going to do with this podcast for everyone. If you've made it this far in this episode, thank you. We know it's not the most exciting, but we just wanted you to hear our voices because I know when I have a favorite podcast, sometimes I need a filler episode here and there just to stay in touch with my girls. Yeah. But for this podcast, we've already had a few guests like we promised, but we have plenty more in the upcoming months. So stay tuned for that. And we're going to be doing some live viewer questions or listener. I don't know. I mean, listeners listen, viewers watch on YouTube. So live audience questions, if you will. So we are very excited for that. We are guaranteed to have some technical difficulties because that is what happens on this podcast, but that's what makes it fun.
My brother went into this long explanation of how you can call in when there's a sporting, like a football podcast going on. And you can talk to them and like ask questions. And he's like, could you guys do something like that? And I'm like, well, then we'd like have to get a phone and all this stuff. He's like, you can get like a Google number. And so now my brain's been spinning of like, could we
potentially
do a call in? Like not even like a typing a question. It's like hey, here's our number. Call us if you have a question. And then we'll just set some times of when people can call in. And that makes me a little nervous, but I'm down to clown.
I'm here for it. I mean, in college, I interned for the Howard Stern show, and
You did?
I did. That was my very first college internship because I wanted to be a radio gal.
I was a radio gal.
Well, that's why we're besties because
Saturday
we're
Night
so
Club
similar.
Mix. I hosted
Ooh,
it
okay. Saturday Night Club Mix. Get
with
it,
my
Gina?
man D-Lo.
Mm,
That was the co-host.
I figured.
Shout out D-Lo, T-Town.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I was on, they had every Wednesday night, they had the intern show where they let the interns be on, it was not the radio, it was on Sirius XM. And then I think like every week there were 3 interns, so I rotated and I was on like 4 or 5 episodes and people were calling in. That's where I got my first taste of trolls because people were calling in to like troll me. I was like, okay, this is actually really fun. But
We were met for the trolls on the radio.
yeah, but it was just such an interesting experience because they just call in and I'm like, we can just answer this right now. And obviously these questions were highly inappropriate. I was like, you just want me to go ahead and like say what I want. I don't have to look at a script or anything. So it was very interesting. I still have the CDs in my car.
You like met Howard Stern.
Yeah. I was quote unquote infamous my intern season because he was napping one day and I came in at like 6 a.m. all bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, like screaming, and I woke him up. And he was so upset that he talked this entire episode about how one of the interns woke him up.
I'm going to find it.
You know, I hope so. But yeah, I met him. I have a photo with him and his very tall humanness. And it was just a really cool experience.
Yeah, his show was like crazy, wasn't it?
Yeah. My job as the intern was to take these phone calls from the crazies and put notes in essentially so they would decide who could make it through. And then I would have to transcribe all of the episodes. I don't know if that's still a thing, but this was in, I don't know, 2009. So that was still a thing.
You're like typing up, you're like,
yeah.
Oh my God.
Like, can I write that? Like, is that illegal for me to even see? So that was very cool. But yeah, I decided I did not want to be on the radio after that.
And now do people listen to the radio at all?
I listen to the radio.
You do? Like FM radio?
Yeah. In the car, I will only listen to the radio unless I'm listening to a podcast.
I'm learning so much.
Because I don't like to make decisions. And when I put on Spotify or Apple Music, whatever, I feel like I have to pick a playlist or I have to decide next, whatever. But with the radio, you just put it on, the song's on for you. If you don't like it, you hit another button and something else is there. So it's a very simple way for me to just have my audio listening. But if I'm going for a longer car ride, I'll either make a phone call or listen to a podcast.
I know I'm typically a podcast gal.
Well, hopefully we have podcast gals out there who are listening to us still after all this.
Literally call us.
Yeah, we want you to call us. We still want you to email us. I know everyone's been taking a break for the holidays, but we're still waiting for those fan emails because we are happy to answer your questions. And, you know, live calls I think will be really funny. We'll have to have our parents on standby like, hey, can you call in and pretend?
Like, yeah, just say you have a different name in case no one calls us.
Yeah. So that's what's to come. We're going to do merch. We're going to have t-shirts and mugs and beanies and all the fun things. So
crop tops.
Oh my God. Speaking of shirts, I have to show you. Sorry, listeners, you cannot see my shirt, but this is for the viewers. Chris got this for me. It says,
oh my God, Mama's Boys.
It says Mama's Boys.
Oh my goodness. Look at those babies.
And I want to wear it all the time. Like I'm sad that I have to take it off at some point to wash it.
Is that the shirt that Post Malone had?
He got the inspiration from Post Malone because he had a shirt with all pictures of his dog. So it's essentially the same thing.
It looks like that.
And then
speaking of, and now they're saying hello.
I think they're like, wrap it up, bitches. No one wants to hear you jibber jab. Thank you for listening to our New Year's goals and what we've done for the past few weeks. And we really appreciate our listeners. First and foremost, we hope everyone enjoyed this journey with us from 2024 to 2025. It has been a journey. I mean, this is our 30th episode.
I was about to ask. We're on 30?
This is our Dirty 30 episode. Thank you for listening, everyone. We hope everyone has a very happy new year. And we look forward to doing live calls with you. Howard Stern style, as Gina likes to say.
Beat me.
If you want to reach me, Email us at dlistdiaries@gmail.com. Message us on Instagram at D-List Diaries. Like, subscribe, do all the things. Leave a review if you can, but only if it's positive, because we really want to bring positivity into this new year. So you can take your negativity with you when you go.
And if you want to troll, we're just going to fire back.
Yeah, we're getting petty this year. That's I'm going to end on that
I'm going
note.
into 2025 feeling petty.
I am not taking the high road anymore.
Come for me in the comments. I'm going to blast you.
I love it. Talk to you soon, everyone. Bye.
Bye.